Agatha Harkness is a character that has found herself into the hearts and minds of many people back in 2021. And now that her show is finally coming to Disney Plus this Wednesday, there probably are a lot of people that have forgotten who exactly is Agatha and what are the events that transpired up to this point. If you're one of those people that haven't really remembered or revisited WandaVision in a long time, and if you're one of those people that just does not want to go back to old MCU stuff, feeling MCU burnout right now, but want to know basics before getting into Agatha all along, you've come to the right place. This is the Jedi Mike 7 Movie News Channel. I'm Jking, and welcome to What You Should Know Before Agatha All Along.
And I killed Sparky too.
If you like what you see here, don't forget to leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe for more videos just like this. So, Agatha All Along is coming to Disney Plus at the time of this recording this Wednesday. It'll be for 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, back to primetime releases, which I feel like Disney Plus should really just stick with because it's been a lot easier to get through some of this content without having to wait until 3 a.m. in the freaking morning or midnight for some people. But yeah, Agatha All Along. This is the newest MCU-related Disney Plus content that we have gotten. And again, given the fact that it's Agatha, and it's been a very, very long time since we've seen Agatha, I know a lot of people don't have a lot of memories when it comes to WandaVision or Multiverse of Madness or a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm just going to do what I basically did with the Deadpool and Wolverine video and give you what you need to know before Agatha All Along. So let's get into that. First things first, and I think probably the most important thing to remember, Agatha's involvement in the events of WandaVision. 2021's WandaVision saw Wanda Maximoff grieving from the death of Vision in Avengers Endgame, turned the entire town of Westview, New Jersey into her own personal sitcom land. She trapped many people inside and created a fake Vision out of her, connection to the Mind Stone that they both had. And within that hex, there were two people that were able to invade, one being Monica Rambeau, who of course would go on to become the superhero Photon in the MCU movie The Marvels, and the other was at first known as Agnes, the nosy neighbor next door to Wanda and Vision, but turned out to be the Lovecraftian supernatural witch, Agatha Harkness. Agatha within WandaVision was pretty much seen as an antagonist the moment she revealed her identity. She's from the Salem times. She basically is sort of a energy sucker, who tends to take energy from other sorcerers, especially since she had gotten her hands on the Darkhold, the Book of the Damned, basically, which would also cause you to have your fingers blacked out. We saw this happen with Agatha, we saw this happen with Wanda in Multiverse of Madness, and we also saw this with an alternate reality version of Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness. She was a Darkhold user and used that energy to keep herself as young as she has been for such a long time, as well as steal all those mystical energies. At the end of the events of WandaVision, Wanda, after discovering her purpose as the Scarlet Witch, was able to stop Agnes and then, sorry, you're gonna hear me flip-flop through Agnes and Agatha throughout this video. It's that easy to flip-flop through there. But she was able to put Agatha in a hex of her own, trapping her in that sort of Westview, sitcom land where she's the nosy neighbor again with no memories of exactly who she is. And Wanda basically left her like that. And again, we hadn't seen Agnes since, and a lot's changed since then. Another thing to note, and probably the second most important thing to note, is the events of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Post WandaVision, Wanda would then go on to grab the Darkhold for herself, trying to find some way of bringing her two twin sons, Billy and Tommy, that's important to know for later as well, back to life after having to give them up when having to get rid of her hex around Westview. Doctor Strange, Wong, America Chavez, and many others tried to stop her, which ended up in a whole multiversal calamity and an incursion. But in the end, Wanda was able to remember who she was and destroy the Darkhold Temple. Now, we didn't see her after she destroyed the temple, but there was a moment where there was a red glow of energy right before the section that she was in collapsed. Again, we haven't seen Wanda since, But there are a lot of rumors that Wanda might show up again in Agatha All Along, especially given that the first trailer definitely put emphasis on the fact that Wanda is quote unquote dead. And I say quote unquote because this is the Scarlet Witch here. You can't get rid of the Scarlet Witch. But yeah, most likely, if anything, we'll see what the state of Wanda will be post the events of this series. Will Elizabeth Olsen show up? I hope so, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Another thing to note is that while Agatha has been portrayed very much as a villain or an anti-hero in recent years due to the events of WandaVision and recent comic book runs around that time, she wasn't always. Agatha actually started off as, a good guy. Originally seen in the Fantastic Four comics as the caretaker to a young Franklin Richards, the son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm, who just happened to have magical abilities and be a sorcerer. She only really started to become more so of a villain and anti-hero around the lead up to the House of M and Avengers Disassembled, where she was one of the key figures in taking away Wanda's memories about her kids so she wouldn't be grieving. When Wanda found out about those memories, she kind of ended Agatha, and there's kind of been bad blood between the two of them ever since. Agatha still helps her every now and then, but there's been a bit of bad blood. Also, of course, movies and shows influencing comics, Agatha went from an old hag to not an old hag, literally, because most likely because of the MCU as well, and because it's Catherine Hahn, and so yeah. Another thing to note, and this is coming for Agatha the show, is the teen as he's called. As he's called? We have a character within here who is just called the teen, Joe Locke's character, and he's only been referred to as that. However, there's been a lot of speculation, and I think a lot of warranted speculation, that he's actually playing Billy Kaplan, aka Billy Maximoff, the teenaged, revived version of Wanda's son, who, of course, as many people know in the comics, becomes the superhero Wiccan and is one of the founding members of the Young Avengers, alongside his to-become boyfriend Hulkling, a shape-shifting Skrull, Patriot, who we met in the events of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and who knows, might see again in Captain America Brave New World, and a young Iron Lad, aka a teenage Kang the Conqueror, along with other characters such as Kate Bishop Hawkeye, who we met in the Hawkeye series, America Chavez, who we met in Doctor Strange The Multiverse of Madness, and Staturate Cassie Lang, who we, of course, saw in freaking Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Does this mean that Young Avengers is on the way? Who knows? It could be between Young Avengers or the most recent kind of incarnation of them, the Champions. Who really knows at this point? But with Joe Locke most likely playing Billy, especially given that all signs kind of point to him being Billy. Hell, even the show itself kind of scribbled away him ever saying his name. It's just pretty much most likely that he's Billy. It would be interesting if he wasn't Billy, but again, that's just for us to see. Who knows if episode 1 or so is going to tell us exactly who he is, but yeah, that's another thing to also look out for. Another thing to look out for is the fact that this is actually part 2 of a 3-part trilogy that has recently been kind of confirmed when it comes to Marvel. The showrunners have basically said that this is a 3-part story. It started with WandaVision, it continues here with Agatha All Along, and then will continue in the Disney Plus Vision series, which has not had an official name yet. It's kind of been thrown around that it's been going to be called Vision Quest. And it's been recently confirmed that James Spader is returning in Vision Quest to reprise his role as Ultron, last having played him in Avengers Age of Ultron. But yeah, it's a 3-part story. Will this 3-part story conclude by the time Avengers Doomsday rolls around? Who knows? Most likely. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it's a 3-part story. And probably the last thing that I will bring up as well is that this is the third and last MCU-related piece of content that is coming for this year. Again, as I brought up before in the Deadpool and Wolverine Before You Watch video, there isn't a lot of MCU-related content this year, which I don't know if a lot of people have really been noticing or paying attention to. When it comes to stuff that is MCU-related, that is within Disney Plus and the movies, we've only had Echo, which came out in January, and of course, Deadpool and Wolverine, which came out at the end of July. Agatha, which is coming out this month, is the third piece of MCU related content. There's nothing else coming out this year. No other movie and no other Disney Plus series that is MCU related. We had other Marvel stuff like X-Men 97, and if the show does come out this year, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, but neither of those are MCU related content. Those are Marvel animation, not Marvel television, and not MCU Marvel television like those are. Again, it's just something to know because again, Marvel has been holding back. They've been dialing it back because people have not been happy with how the recent state of Marvel has been. That's why we only have these 3 projects this year. And why next year we are kind of slowly trickling back into what people had before Phase 4 began, with the addition of 2 Disney Plus shows, of course. But yeah, just to note that this is the last piece of MCU related content for this year. Anything else that might be Marvel is not MCU related. That includes, again, if it comes out this year, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. That includes Venom, The Last Dance, unless there's some MCU connection there, who knows. And that especially includes Kraven the Hunter. But yeah, that's it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, I wanted to do a before you watch kind of thing like I did with Deadpool and Wolverine for Agatha. And of course, Agatha All Along will be starting on Disney Plus September 18th, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check your local listings. Prime time returns to Disney Plus shows. Yeah, I guess we will see you there, and subsequent reviews on the channel will start to pop up. Again, if you like what you see here, don't forget to like, leave a comment, subscribe for more videos from me and Mike, and we will see you guys next time. Peace. Jking out.